what happens when we stop asking what God wants through the Bible and instead start asking what we as humans owe each other. That is what I have really gathered from The Portable Atheist, which is an anthology put together by Christopher Hitchens. So it's almost similar to the Bible in that it is a collection of a lot of different works by different writers for the purpose of establishing our own sense of morality and purpose, etc. So it was edited by Christopher Hitchens in 2007, and it collects a lot of the most influential writings about atheism, even agnosticism, ethics, secularism, and general critiques of religions. It's a curation of the intellectual processes that have gotten us from believing in deities to now. It includes a lot of really big names from Thomas Jefferson to Ayaan Hirsi Ali, Mark Twain, Charles Darwin, Richard Dawkins, just so many different big names throughout the eons. And there are a lot of different essays, and some of them are speeches and other writings that interrogate, I guess, religion's claims about morality and purpose. It talks about history. There's a critique of power and all of these different ways of looking at the case for secularism, the case for life outside of religion, and essentially, I guess, intellectual freedom from it. But I think one of the key things that I remember reading from this book is about morality. There's a lot of different writers or speakers, thinkers in this book who talk about morality. And what's interesting is the first time I read this book in full was right after I stopped calling myself a Christian. And at the time, I was not calling myself an atheist. I was still just like kind of in the in between. I think for a while I was calling myself a deist. That's kind of like an easy step away from Christianity, which is the idea that there is a creator being, but they are very hands off and don't interact in the daily parts of the universe. One of the things that I really struggled with after leaving Christianity was morality. And that's fairly typical for a lot of us who grew up in those high demand religions. And so one of the reasons I really liked this book is because it's not just Christopher Hitchens saying this is what we should base our morality on. It's an anthology. Again, it's a collection of all of these different perspectives on morality outside of religion. And really just the idea of relying on empathy and reason because they are enough for a sense of morality, for a code of ethics. A lot of you know that I critique the concept of like Judeo-Christian values or this idea that without a divine creator being, we can't have a unified set of morality. And you guys know that I critique this a lot because there's a few different ways that I respond to that claim that we can't have morality without God. One, which God are you talking about? Because even just within Christianity itself, there are so many different denominations, and within those denominations, there are so many different interpretations about the codes of ethics as interpreted from the Bible in different ways by different people. It's asinine to pretend that there is a single unified sense of morality, even among the same religion. And then it's very easy to do a no true Scotsman all throughout Christianity by saying something like, well, they aren't real Christians. Well, the Baptists aren't real Christians. Well, the Catholics aren't real. Like, give me a break. Like that, if that is as far as your intellectual prowess goes, honestly, my condolences, because I don't know what to tell you. Another thing I say about morality is that, again, the Bible and Christianity itself has justified incredibly immoral things over and over and over again. The easy one to go to is, I don't know, slavery, also genocide, infanticide. All of these different things have been justified as if they were the moral epitome. And the point of that is to recognize that not only does morality change with culture, but it even changes within Christian culture. And I'm just so over this idea that we can't have morality without religion. Like, can we at least try once? I don't know. But again, I just really appreciated this book because it was so many different perspectives. And I really needed that after I left Christianity. And it kind of does give us almost the progress path, like the process of all of us collectively outgrowing authority because it's people from various different cultures and time periods. And it really just kind of shows how former theists can rebuild our ethical frameworks. And also, another component of this is losing the concept of morality based on fear, which I think leads to better behavior, not worse behavior. Because again, if you are relying on the threat of hell to not harm your neighbor, maybe we should have a different discussion, because I don't want to harm my neighbor. I want the best for my neighbor, and I'm not afraid. I'm not doing it because I'm afraid of hell. I'm not doing it because I'm afraid of being out of alignment with God, he, him, and his divine plan. Right? So I think there's another component that I really remember drawing from this book of losing that fear-based morality and almost an emotional relief of the permission to doubt is another concept, because a lot of the thinkers in this book were not just challenging the cultural dominant ideology of their time, but were really taking it the next step and saying, okay, what if we question even more? What can we build on new potential answers? Oh, Karl Marx is in here too, by the way. Love that. Sam Harris is in here, Bertrand Russell, George Orwell, Albert Einstein, H.P. Lovecraft. That's a really good one. So yeah, if morality doesn't come from God, where do you think it should come from? That's really what you'll get out of this book.